My name's Jonathan Rupin. I recently started the Ruppin Agency, a literary agency. I've spent many years in the industry doing an awful lot of things, including a huge amount of time in retail, so I bring that knowledge of the market. But one of the reasons that I set up my agency, one of the big reasons, was because I'm very aware that it's a white, middle-class, London-based bubble. There's underrepresentation of authors from all sorts of backgrounds, and I want to do something to change that a little bit, to enlarge the number of voices that there are for people to read. I'm pretty broad-minded on the fiction front. Contemporary fiction's always been my speciality, and I've read across the board with that. I mean, I'm quite a fan of some good romantic fiction. I like my literary fiction, I like my commercial fiction. Not so keen on science fiction or horror, not because I think they're bad genres, I just don't know much about them. And I must admit, the gory end of crime puts me off a little bit. That's just a stomach-related thing. On the non-fiction front, I'm fairly broad-minded. I've got some more details on my website about exactly what I'm looking for, but I would say that a charismatic author can make most subjects look interesting. Make sure it's pretty polished. It sounds daft, but the first paragraph really matters. It's the first impression. Make sure it's completely correct. Make sure it hasn't got any cliches in it. You know, those phrases that Orwell says, you know, are remotely familiar in every way. Make sure there isn't anything extraneous in there. But the way that I go about looking at a submission is I tend to read the first 5 pages or so without looking at the synopsis. Obviously there's the general writing style that I'm looking at and see what the initial setup is. Dialogue is something that I look at. Dialogue for me is the best signifier of whether somebody can write or not. So make sure your dialogue's strong. I would say be bold. I don't mind some personality in your submission to me. Don't go on, you know, I don't want to hear loads about your life, but I do want to hear a little about you as a writer as well as about your book. In terms of your writing, I'm looking for people who show a real commitment to writing. And in terms of the best advice I can give is that no good writer, no published writer writes alone. Make sure you have people you can turn to and that you can show your writing to who will give you constructive feedback.